really light patches.
Absolutely. And I've had so many people tell me the exact same thing. And I think that's the key is just find out what works well for you. What works good for me may not work good for you. And what works good for Joe Schmo may not work as well as it will for Jane Doe, So really the key is just finding out what works for you and keep testing it, right?
Exactly, because everyone's endocannabinoid system is just like their fingerprints. So everyone's is different. So my dosage might not be the same as yours, Josh, and vice
Mhm.
versa. And the things that you use or the strain that you use might not work for me. I know several veterans who swear by sativas, and I can't use a sativa because my brain is always racing. I always have constant thoughts. So I need to slow things down. I need to focus. I need to be calmer. My body hurts a lot. So I need a strong indica or at least an indica hybrid. And so these are just different, types of cannabis that you can choose from and then trial and error which one works best for you. So it really is about education and knowing that what works for me might not work for you, and that's okay.
That is so true. And I wish all of our brothers and sisters could hear this. And hopefully, our podcast will go viral and, millions and millions will hear it. I mean, we go out to about 150 different countries. So a lot of people are going to hear it. Now, the question is, are they going to have access to a quality tested product? That's really the key. So, Tangy, you talked about the medical side. So, what if, like your dad, or a veteran who is in mid 60s, mid 70s that's never utilized cannabis that now wants to get exposed to it? What about industrial hemp-based products? Is that something that should be a starting point for them?
Absolutely, and that's great for them because a lot of them, especially like my father, a lot of people in black communities or communities that have really been tested by the war on drugs or damaged by the war on drugs, I should say, they have a negative connotation when it comes to cannabis, period.
Right.
And so starting it off with, okay, President Trump signed this December 20th, and it's completely legal, and you can do interstate commerce, you can ship this across state lines. This is okay medicine, and this is not, anything that's going to get you high, because a lot of them don't like the psychoactive effects of it. And so letting them know that this product not only works and not only attaches to receptors that are already in your body, right? So it's not anything, it's a lock and key system, and it's going to unlock all of these beautiful things that can help you. So a lot of them, I don't even ask anymore. Sometimes I just rub a little bit on their hands or their knees or wherever
Hmm.
they have pain and just watch literally the miracle happen right in front of my eyes. I've seen it so many times to know that it's not a placebo. That's what I try to get them to
Oh
understand.
yeah.
This
Right.
really works.
Well, we're so far past the placebo effect results and numbers that it's comical when somebody says, "Oh, it's placebo effect." When I know that, we've got our Veterans for Cannabis Grow operation in Wisconsin, which is growing industrial hemp, but I can take that product that we extract into a full spectrum industrial hemp based oil MCT product, and I can send it to 100 people, and 85 of them will send me positive feedback. That's way past placebo effect numbers, right?
Exactly.
So we know it's
Exactly.
effective, very effective. So I think about you and I think about what you bring to this industry, and I think about how strong your words are and how strong your push is too. And I want you to know how much I appreciate you getting into this industry and being a part of this too. We need more men and women like you that are articulate, that are willing to take a stand on something they believe in, and that are willing to stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves, meaning that so many of our brothers and sisters can't get out from behind that TV that we always talk about, right? Because they literally cannot physically do it. But if we can advocate for them and fight for them, that's what our job is there. That's what we're there to do, right? How do you do that? How do you take a message from somebody cannot get out from behind the computer but needs to be heard? How do you tell their story?
Well, my story is their story, and your story. All of our stories are the same. We've been affected in some type of way, which makes us so strong. Which makes us, which is literally why we would die for each other. Which is why we would go to war for each other, because we understand that if no one has our back, we got each other's back. And so, how dare I know the truth and not share it? How dare I not scream from the top of my lungs, Josh? You can't possibly imagine how many conversations per day I have about cannabis. That's how adamant I am about it. I am never ashamed to talk about it. I'm never in a room where I can't mention it or proudly say what I do, because I've been lied to for so many years about it that
Right.
now I'm pissed off. Now I'm angry. Now
That's
I'm
right.
like, what? Like, I could have been using this the whole time to recover. I could have been a better student in college. I could have been, like, there's so many things that I think about now that cannabis could have helped me with concentration, with focus, with depression, with anxiety, with eating, with sleeping, etc. And so, it's literally not a choice for me, honestly. It is literally all about saving lives. I was in Iraq twice. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I've seen dead bodies. I know what it looks like. I know what it smells like. Those are triggers for me. And so
Right.
when you know that, you understand why they're behind the TV. It's numbing. It's something that helps them forget. It takes their mind off, because if they focus on anything, those memories come back instantly, especially if they don't have cannabis. So it's not an option, honestly, for me not to talk about it. And I have family members. My father, was incarcerated because of cannabis at one point in time. Like, I
Wow, I
know too
did
many
not know
people.
that.
Exactly. I know too many people. I have too many examples of people who they said that this was wrong when we all know it's right now. So that's why I fight.
Well, our fight's not over, right? So, how, first and foremost, how do you control your anger? Because your anger is my anger, and our anger is deep and it's strong and it's boisterous. But somehow you and I are able to, channel that and speak and articulate our message for our other brothers and sisters and for us in a manner that people listen, right? So how do we do that? How do we take that and control that emotion for our other brothers and sisters that are listening that may not know how to control that? How can they help themselves control that message and help articulate a message to where it's more beneficial than it is just jumping up and down and beating on a desk saying, "Damn it, I want it this way, no may," whatever. It's about keeping your composure and keeping your bearing, right?
It is. It's that it's that discipline from the military that I call on every day. And honestly, not even joking, it's cannabis. If I didn't consume, John,
There
if
you
I did
go.
not have cannabis every single day, I would lose it. Like, I would just be so livid at the fact that people tell us or portray that veterans are the backbone of this country. They're so proud of us. They're so grateful that we served and we, provide freedom for them and the home of the brave because of the free. But yet we can't get you to listen to us on a plant. That makes no sense to me. So if I didn't consume every day, I honestly probably would be upset. But because I do, I understand that it attaches to receptors in my brain. I'm able to focus. I'm able to slow down my thoughts. I'm able to articulate the message because I'm studying every single day. I'm studying legislation. I'm studying how the endocannabinoid system is built and how it helps every other system in my body. I am studying the effects that it has on my relationships with others and how I was before I left the military and after I got out the military. I'm looking at all of this data and I'm analyzing it. I'm processing it, and I'm understanding that if I don't do this, no one will. If we don't do this,
Absolutely.
no one will. So those are the only choices we have.
They are, and talking about doing this, and you and I are doing all the time. And the crazy thing is you and I may go 6 months, 12 months, 18 months without seeing each other, and it's very similar to when we served with our brothers and sisters too, where we can go, 2 years and not see each other and pick right up where we left off. So we haven't seen each other, and I know it's been 6 months since the Wild Hog Supper in January. We saw each other this weekend, and now Saturday we're going to be in Orlando together, speaking on a panel together. So it's really neat how the players in this industry stay together and really push the message forward, but we got to start working together as the industry and coming together, forgetting about the profits. Let's lift the industry up and all come together and work together as a team.
I completely agree, and that's literally the only way it's going to work. It's going to take teamwork and solidarity because I know I can't do it alone. I know
That's
you
right.
can't do it alone, but
That's
together,
right.
our powers combined, our network combined, our resources combined, all of that together will move mountains, and they need to see that too. That makes people uncomfortable to see, veterans working together, like, because they know this
Absolutely.
will get done. Like, they know once we get focused and determined on something, it's going to get fixed.
I say it all the time. We ain't just talk about it. We be about it. I hate people that talk about it and don't be about it. We are a be about it organization, and you and I are both be about it kind of people. You're a Marine. I'm an Air Force guy, and it doesn't matter. We can still come together and make things happen together as a team, as an industry with one goal, and that's the choice to utilize cannabis through the VA, and that's to fight so that every patient has access to medicine that's quality tested and pure, and they know it works, right?
That's literally the summation of all of it. That was the perfect way to sum it up, and that's exactly what we're all doing. I can't thank you enough for the work that you've done in Georgia. I can't thank you enough for the work that you continue to do, because I see it and I understand what type of toll it takes. You have a family, you have people that are depending on you, and yet we take our time aside to make sure we continue to fight for those who can't. So
That's
you
right.
are so appreciated.
Well, you are as well. But before we go, if you wouldn't mind telling our listeners how they can get a hold of you or just look up more information about you or follow you.
Absolutely. So if they're in Georgia or want to know anything about that market, you can go to GeorgiaCannabisCoalition.org. And my company, Jayn.Green, is JAYN .GREEN, so it's www.Jayn.Green. And I'm underscore Jayn.Green on all social media, so underscore JAYNGREEN.
Tangy, our bi-coastal Marine veteran who is an absolute advocate and a sister in arms with us in this cannabis industry. I'm humbled. I'm appreciative. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast.
Thank you for having me, Josh. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Veterans for Cannabis podcast. Tune in next week. We'll talk to you then.